Facebook Live, we have arrived. We're back at it one more time. Let's get ready to get it in. Let's get ready to get it in. Give y'all a second to chime in. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Where y'all at? Here we come. A cult. Rita B. Nicole in the building. Shalom, shalom. Y'all gonna have to pray for me because I was in pain today. And I took a codeine and Tylenol. Can you believe that? And then I realized I have to teach. Pain gone, but I feel terrible. And my head is foggy, so y'all pray for me for sure. Yeah, y'all have to pray for me. Anyway, let's get ready to get in the word. I know that. That's for sure. Let's get ready to get in the word. Mother Katie. Derek in the building. What's up, man? Galatians 5, y'all. Y'all pray for me. I need it. Galatians 5. Well, let's start the thing.
Conference muted. Conference recording started.
I want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is Watchman Yahudah Israel, also known as Pastor Derek Mann, on evening scripture study on the 17th day in October 2018. Let's get ready to get it in. Shalom, family. Love you too, man. Finna get this thing going, right? I probably can see without these. Let's see what's happening. Let's go to Galatians. Galatians, the 5th chapter. Galatians 5, right? Quick prayer. Spirit of the Most High, we love you. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you. Humbly to know how. Ask you to send a relevant word to this here, your people, that we may grow thereby. I need you. I'm desperate to take control and speak to your people. I'm not in shape tonight. I'm definitely dependent on you 100%, as always. But I trust, believe, and thank you in the matchless name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We humbly pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh man, here we go. Galatians 5. Let's start at the 16th verse. Look what it say. Look what it say. It say, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh." How you doing, Michelle? Bless you. It says, walk in the spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Well, to keep it simple, the lust of the flesh is when we sin. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Eric, Brazil, what's up, man? Long time. Turner in the building. "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh." So then there is an antidote to sinning. This says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." You're not going to go against the Most High. You're not going to sin if you walk in the spirit. And he said, "This I say, then walk in the spirit." "And you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." That's saying you're not going to sin if you walk in the spirit. And the 17th verse is going to break it down why. Look, it says, "For the flesh lusts against the spirit." We have a nature that goes against the spirit of the Most High. And we need to understand that. Long time, Eric. Real talk, man. Good to see you chiming in. Preferably you can hang out with us. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. Romans 8 talks about the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. It's not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can be. Our nature automatically just has its own agenda. And it's completely different from Yah's character or his agenda, right? For the flesh lusts against the spirit. So what we would do is completely opposite of what he would have us do. That's why the 16th verse he say, I say then walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. Lust means desire. It's motives, it's desire, it's will goes against the nature of the Creator. Because man is in a fallen state, a sinful state. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. And don't get it twisted, the spirit against the flesh. When Yah's dealing with you, he's coming against your nature, your flesh. What you want to do, how you date, how you respond, how you spell relief. How you spell relief, y'all don't spell it like that. It's completely the opposite. Talking about a natural person, born in sin and shaped in iniquity, just a normal human being. Kenyon, what's up, man? Good to see you on, family. Praying with you, bro. For the flesh lusts against the spirit, right? That's us lusting against what the Most High tell us. And the spirit against the flesh. Now, the Most High, when you let him in your life, he's coming against your flesh, your nature, your evil nature, how you think. He's coming against it. When he tell you to do something, it's going to be very seldom that it's something you want to do. When he tell you to stop doing stuff, it's going to be very seldom it's going to be something you want to stop doing. He'll tell you to stop doing stuff you love to do. And he'll tell you to start doing stuff you hate to do. For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one to the other. Don't be shocked. You know what state of shock people be in when they come to the Most High because they want something from him. A death of a loved one, or they change is strange, their money is funny, they're miserable. Folks oftentimes come to him wanting something. They don't come to him because they want to serve him and walk away from sin. They come to him because they want him to fix something. And then the shock when truth comes, that he actually come to rescue you from you, that don't even be an equation when the average person come to him. Average person doing a natural born thing, and they come needing something from the Creator. You know, they trying to find out, how can I get this done? Oh, I heard there's a God somewhere. Oh, well, let me go check with him and see if he'll help me get the job. He'll help me get my husband to stop cheating on me and beating on me. He'll help me with this loneliness or whatever it might be. And then you come and find out that your problem that you thought you had was small in comparison to the problem you are as a human being. You are a problem. You came to him to bring him a problem, a natural problem. Then you found out you are the problem. How you live, how you date, how you lie, how two-faced it you, how funny style you live. You come to find out you are the problem. And that's kind of like a heck of a pill to have to swallow. But those that believe roll with that. Okay, I brought you a problem. Come to find out I'm the problem. Well, I'm glad I brought myself to you because I need to be fixed. I believe in you. For Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Okay, I came to you for something else, but come to find out I need you and I believe in you. So here we go. Then walk in the Spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You're going to learn to deny yourself. He said, if any man come after me, let him deny himself. You about to learn how. You about to learn how to deny yourself. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. You desire things opposite of the Most High. And the spirit against the flesh. The Most High is against your flesh. These are contrary to one to another. So you cannot do the things that you would. And that's universal. That's talking to everybody. That's talking about the creation of man, the species, mankind, humanity has a way of seeing things and doing things that goes against the Creator. And when you come to him, you got to be down with going against yourself. Ain't that something? Which then gives you more understanding on the death, burial, and resurrection. Just don't put it on the Messiah. We need it. We need to die. The consequences for sin is death. The wages for sin is death. But the antidote for sin is death. Because sin is an incurable disease. We got to die. And once we're baptized to his death, then we got to raise up. We got to be risen like he was risen to walk in the newness of life. And when we raised up to walk in the newness of life, your flesh is still lusting against the spirit. The spirit is telling you what to do, but your flesh don't want to do it. He's telling you what not to do. Your flesh want to do it. The flesh lusts against the spirit against the flesh. These are contrary to one to another. So you cannot, that's talking to everybody, you cannot do the things you would. Are you the type that would admit there's a lot of stuff that you would be doing if it wasn't for him? But let's go deep. How many things you would not be doing that you are doing because you're in church? Because the church taught you was a sinner. Can we be honest with ourselves? If where you're going to get help teaches you you're a sinner saved by grace, then you're going to continue to sin. So this scripture wouldn't even apply to you because of false doctrine. You cannot do the things that you would. The word teaches you you can't sin. If you do what you want to do, you're going to sin. And this is saying don't do that. This saying no, don't do that. But church teaches you, oh, you can do it. You're a sinner saved by grace. This I say, walk in the spirit. This is what the words say. And you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Religious people teach you, you are going to fulfill the lust of the flesh. You can't help it because you're human. This say don't. Walk in the spirit and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Told you why. For the flesh lusts against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh. These are contrary to one to another. So you cannot do the things that you would. They say don't do it. 18th verse. But if you are led of the spirit, if you're led of the Ruach, if you're led of the spirit, you are not under the law. What does that mean? If you're led of the spirit, led of the spirit means you obey the Creator. You obey the Most High. You obey the word. And if you obey the word, the law ain't even talking to you. Well, let's break this joker down. Look, let's go to Galatians, right? We're still in Galatians, right? The 3rd chapter, real quick, right? Galatians 3:16. Look what it say. Look at this. You say, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. Notice there's no S on seed, right? Talking about the Mashiach, the Messiah, right? Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds with an S. No, he was talking about the Mashiach. Talking about Abraham, making him the father of faith, and the promised line, who was going to be born out of his loins, that one seed was going to be the Messiah. Right? Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, singular, which is the Mashiach. Made it plain. It's the Messiah, where the promise is made, right? And this I say, that the covenant which was confirmed before of Yah in the Mashiach, the law which was 430 years after. The law came after he made the promise to Abraham and that the Messiah was going to come through his family line. The law came 430 years after that. It cannot disannul. It can't cancel out the promise. That it should make the promise of none effect. The promise is in effect. The only reason why the law came is because Abraham's children were sinning. They didn't act like Abraham. So the law came. Watch this. 18th verse. For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise. But Yah gave it to Abraham by promise. He said, oh yeah, the Mashiach is coming. How you doing, Ty? Kimyana? He gave it to him by promise, right? The inheritance is by promise, not by the law. For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more promise, but Yah gave it to Abraham by promise. Wherefore then serveth the law? In other words, why do you want to serve the law? Look what else is said. It was added because of transgressions. Do you know what added means? It was added based on circumstances. It don't nullify the promise. It was put in place to keep the promise. In other words, had Abraham's children obeyed like he did, then there was no need for the law because they would have been obeying him. But because of their disobedience, the law came to show them you scandalous. Because where there's no law, there's no transgression. There was no law with Abraham, but he obeyed the Most High. He was not transgressing against the Most High. He did what he said. But his children didn't act like him, so the law had to come to show you guys are scandalous. You're claiming Abraham, but you're nothing like him. And the law is what's going to prove it. It was added. The relationship was established before the law came. It was added because they were scandalous and they needed somehow to see themselves. So the law came. That's why he say, why do you want to serve the law? It was added because of transgressions. The law came to show transgression. Until, y'all, the seed should come to whom the promise was made. And it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. The law came to show how scandalous you was until the Mashiach came. And then when the Mashiach came, he gave you a route out. Put you back up under the faith of Abraham, minus the law. Put you back full circle, back in a true relationship with the Most High, not based on laws, because the law came just to show you were scandalous. When the Mashiach come and you accept him, you shouldn't be scandalous no more. You shouldn't be scandalous no more. Why shouldn't I be scandalous no more, preacher? Walk in the spirit and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You're now in a relationship with the Most High. And Yah is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Yah is the Ruah, y'all. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Walk in the Ruah. Walk in the spirit. And you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You don't need the law because you're not scandalous no more. You have a relationship with the Creator. You have a relationship with his word. You do what he say. See, the wrath of Yah abide on the children of disobedience. But we not that no more. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. Our evil nature goes against Yah. And the spirit against the flesh. And Yah goes against our evil nature. And when you let him in, he going to go straight against your sinful nature. Because these are contrary to one to the other. So you cannot do the things that you would. You can't do. It ain't business as usual, y'all. There's a new sheriff in town. You got to change. Baptized into his death to rise up to walk in the newness of life. 18th verse. But if you're led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. Why? Because the law ain't talking to you. The law was added because of transgression. You ain't transgression no more. You're not transgressing. You obey him, right? So now he's going to spell it out. I can show you scripturally why there would be a need for the law. And here it is. If you're led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. Now the works of the flesh, remember he said, don't walk after the flesh? The flesh lusts against the Spirit. These are the things that goes against Yah. Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Which are these? Adultery. Y'all know what that is? Fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry and witchcraft and hatred, variance, illuminations, wrath, strife, seditions and hearsays, envyings and murders, drunkenness and reveling, and the such like, of the which I tell you before, as I've also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah. You don't want to be taught that you're going to heaven anyway. You're a sinner saved by grace. Because sinners commit adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, illumination, wrath, strife, sedition, and hearsays, envy and murders, drunkenness, and reveling. That's what sinners do. So the church, not all, but the majority, teach you're a sinner saved by grace. You're not even saved if you're a sinner. Because you're under the law. And the law worketh wrath. There's no mercy in the law. Anyone broke Moses' law, they died before 2 or 3 witnesses, and that without mercy. Ain't no mercy in the law. Mercy come through the Mashiach, through the seed. And if you got the seed, you walk in the Spirit, and you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You got to know what the flesh is. What the works of the flesh are manifest: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, illumination, wrath, strife, sedition, hearsays, envy, murder, drunkenness, and the reveling of such like, of the which I have told you before, as I've also told you in time past, that they which do such thing, the word says, shall not inherit the kingdom. People can try to preach you in there anyway. You ain't going. That's why in Matthew 7:21, folks start going down their resume of what they did for me. Say, I don't even know you. You did, live in the flesh, work lawlessness, sin. You shall not inherit the kingdom. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. You don't need no law if you're led of the Spirit. There's no law against it. There's a law against adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, illumination, wrath, strife, sedition, hearsays, envy, and murder, drunkenness, and reveling. There's a law against that. But there's no law against love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. There's no law against that. Look, let's break it down some more. Let's go to 1 Timothy 1:9. Look what it says, y'all. It says, knowing this, you got to know, y'all. We got to study. Rosenthal, what's up, man? You got to call me, man. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. Remember, the law was added. It was added. It wasn't a part of the original. It was added because of transgressions. Because Abraham's children were scandalous. They didn't act like him. He obeyed the Most High. They didn't. So the law came to show them why they was in captivity. To show them why they were dying and losing battles and being towed up. The law came to prove to them, you're not like Abraham. Okay, I'll call you. I'll call you. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. See, you got to know that. You got Israel waking up to their Israel, and they run up under the law then that means you ain't righteous. Because it wasn't made. If you claim in the law, you ain't righteous. You need it. Because if you scandalous, you need the law. If you're led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. If you have a relationship with the Messiah, and you were baptized into his death, like as he was raised up by the power of the Father, even so we should walk in the newness of life. If you have been planted in the likeness of his death, you should be also in the likeness of his resurrection. You get up to walk in the newness of life. If any man be in the Messiah, he's a new creation, a new creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. I'm new. I'm not who I used to be. I'm dead now. I was baptized to his death. I'm dead now. Now I'm led of the Spirit. Now I'm led by the Ruach. He get to tell me what to do now. I can't obey me because the flesh lusts against the spirit against the flesh. They're contrary. When he tell me to do something, it ain't like I want to do it. When he tell me to stop doing something, if he told me to, he wouldn't have to tell me to stop if I didn't like doing it. He told me to stop because I like it. But what I like goes against him. And what he like goes against me. So now I got to choose. He that seek to save his life is going to lose it. But he that lose his life, I can't do me. I can't make the phone call. Y'all, I'm invited, but I can't go. I won't go. I ain't going. It ain't right. I can't smoke it. It ain't right. I can't drink up all the stuff. I didn't put in on it, but I love to drink some. But I can't. He said, don't. I can get prideful and want to fight. But he said, no. Knowing this, you got to know that the law is not made for a righteous man. You under the law or you ain't righteous. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. Do you know that? Israel, do you know that? Shall I read it again? Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. Do you know that? All right, let me do it one more time. Do you know? That the law is not made for a righteous man. Then who is it made for? I'm glad you asked. But for the lawless and the disobedient. If you're going against the Spirit of the Most High, then you're lawless and you're disobedient. Now the law is for you. And no flesh is going to be justified before the Most High based on the law. The law comes and everybody comes guilty. Because it came because you're guilty. It shows you your guilt. It shows you your transgressions. If you're led of the Spirit, you're not walking in transgressions. You're led of his Spirit. You have a relationship with the Creator. Y'all on the same page. You've already decided, I'm not going to live after my flesh. Be not deceived. Y'all's not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. If you sow to the flesh, you shall of the flesh reap corruption. You ought to know that. Do you, but you will reap corruption. But he that sows to the Spirit shall reap life everlasting. If you are led of the Spirit, do what he say. Your flesh ain't gonna like it, but you know your eternal life is in that. Kill all that false doctrine, man. Kill that religious crap, man. Too many scandalous people in church because they don't know the truth. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. That's not who it's made for, y'all. It's not made for a righteous man. But for the lawless, that's who it's made for. The lawless and the disobedient. That's who it's made for. The lawless and the disobedient. For the ungodly. You ungodly? Then you need the law. For the ungodly, for the sinners. They say you're a sinner saved by grace. The law is made for a sinner. That's what it's made for. If you're a sinner, the law is for you. If you're not sinning, it's because you're led of his spirit. And if you're led of his spirit, the law ain't for you. Is y'all getting this? Get your friends list. Come on, y'all. Knowing this, we working it, y'all. We got to get this. Let Hebrew know. Let Israel know we in the building. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and the disobedient. That's who it's for. See, the law came because of transgressions. The law came 430 years after the promise. The relationship is already in full effect based on the promise, based on Abraham's willingness to obey the Most High, walk away from his own natural life and trusted him, willing to give up his son, sacrifice his son for the Most High. He didn't put nothing to nobody before the Most High. The relationship was already established and in full effect. And the law had to come 430 years later because he made a promise to Abraham, but he ain't accepted no sin. So when his children start sinning, he had to put the law on them, show them you're a sinner. Now I'm going to have to whoop your tail. But I'm still going to keep my promise to Abraham. But I'm going to get you. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and the disobedient, for the ungodly and for the sinners, for the unholy and the profane. That's who it's for. For the murderers of fathers and mothers, for manslayers running around killing folk, whoremongers, folk like to lay up on the mattresses, like get motel rooms, like to get rubbed down and stuff. Want to feel good, just want to cuddle, frisky. For them that defile themselves with mankind, that's talking about homosexuality. Buff brother with a beard purring, sitting there with another man, hugged up purring like two little pussycats. He said defiling themselves with mankind. For men stealers, folks kidnapping folk, planting drugs on them, kidnapping, throwing folks in boats, stealing land and stuff. For men stealers, thieves, for liars. No, I didn't. Mm-mm. Yes, you did. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. No, wasn't me. For perjured persons, you're a perjurer, you're a liar, another liar. Back in there, you got a witness, perjury. Your witness is a liar. Both of y'all lying. Perjured person. And if there be any other thing that's contrary to sound doctrine, that's who the law is for. The law is not for a righteous person. This I say then, Galatians 5, y'all, and 16. This I say. This is what the words say, right? Walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. There's a way not to sin, to obey your flesh. There's a way. And the way is walk in the spirit. Read, study, reject religion and get a true relationship. Believe in him. Believe that he can rescue you from you. Believe that you were baptized to his death and because of him you have the power to be resurrected, to change, to walk in the newness of life. Don't accept poison doctrine that will cause you to be comfortable going against the Most High. Study enough to realize that sin is the problem. Going against the Most High is the problem. And the solution then is to stop going against him. And the solution is in full effect. The promised seed came to accomplish that. The promised seed came to destroy the works of the devil. And the works of the devil is sin. The Messiah came to undo what the first Adam did, messing with the devil. To baptize himself inside, to forgive us, and then baptize himself inside of us, to give us the power to walk in the newness of life, to walk in the Spirit, so we won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because we recognize that our evil nature goes against the Most High, and the Most High is definitely against our evil nature. Our evil nature is killing us, man. Sending people to hell. And they're being deceived and believing they're not on their way to hell because of religion, Catholicism. They flipped the script, working with the devil. Same thing he did in the garden. They had him do it at the Council of Nicaea. They flipped the script, switched up a lot of stuff, added a bunch of paganism. They did all kind of ungodly things. And people's under the influence of wrong religious thinking, stinking thinking. But if we walk in the Spirit, you ain't going to fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one to another. You can't do what you want to do. You feel like going, you got tickets, shred the tickets. Don't go. So you cannot do the things that you would. You can't do what you want to do and serve him. He that is suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Suffered in the flesh, we got an evil nature. You're suffering in the flesh. Your evil nature is craving. I want him. I want her. I want them. I want it. I want to say it. I want to do it. But the Spirit say no. Yah say no. The Word say no. So if you're led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. Why? Because the law is made for the lawless. You're not lawless no more if you're led of the Spirit. You've been baptized into his death, and now you're walking in the newness of life. If any man be in Yahudah, he's a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have come new. You don't do that stuff no more. You're not led by your flesh no more. Because the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Adultery, you ex-adulterer, right? Fornicator, ex. Uncleanness, ex. Lasciviousness, ex. Idolatry, ex. Witchcraft, ex. Hatred, ex. Used to hate your guts, but ex. Variance, ex. Illuminations, wrath, strife, sedition, hearsays, false doctrines, y'all. Ex. Envying, ex. Murderer, ex. Drunkenness. Drink after drink after drink, ex. Almost had cirrhosis of the liver. The word came just in time. Ex-drunk. Reveling. Party like a rock star. Ex. Might see the video, but it's old. Anything like it. Y'all in the such like of the which I tell you before, as I've also told you in time past, they which do such things shall not inherit. Don't let nobody preach you into heaven and you ain't going. In order to get some help, you need to know you need some help. You let one of these false doctrine folks get their hands on you, you whooped. You complacent, you comfortable. You on your way to hell and you dancing in church. You don't need that in your life, y'all. You don't need to be a part of that religious social club. If you're a part of a ministry, make sure they're telling the truth, y'all. Make sure that you know and they know that the problem is sin. And the Mashiach is not a cloak for sin. Jesus is not a cloak for sin, y'all. No. You can't grab Jesus and live like the devil talking about he paid it all. He did it all. No. No. You're lied to. No. You're ex all these things, right? 22. Look what it say. Then we're going to get ready to get out of here. But the fruit of the Spirit, okay, you're led of the Spirit. What are you led of? Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Against such, there is no law. That's why you're not under it. You're under it if you're under the works of the flesh. The law is definitely, because the law was added for scandalous people that should be obeying the Most High, and they're not. Here's the law. Take that with you. It's going to judge you. And they that are the Messiahs have crucified the flesh with the affections and the lust. So those that belong to the Messiah have crucified the flesh because they was baptized into his death. They experienced the death, burial, and now they experience also the resurrection. They got up to, because they're new. They're led of the Spirit now. They're not under the law because they're led of the Spirit. They're led of love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. That's why I say they that are the Messiah have crucified, because they're not led of their flesh no more. Because the flesh lusts against what Yah say. And Yah is definitely against the flesh. So they that belong to him have crucified the flesh. I'm not doing me. And they that are the Messiah have crucified the flesh with the affections and the lust. What are the affections and the lusts? Adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, illuminations, wrath, strife, sedition, hearsays, envy, and murders, and drunkenness, and reveling. And they that belong to the Messiah have crucified the flesh with sin, with the affection and lust. If we live in the Spirit, it say walk in the Spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Now it's saying live in it. So that kills anyone talking about the thought, talking about you can't stay in the Spirit. Well, when I walk in the Spirit, I don't fulfill the lust of the flesh, but you can't stay in the Spirit because we're only human. Well, look what the 25th verse say. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in it. So those who are supposed to be walking in it, not to fulfill the lust of the flesh, is the ones that should be living in it. They'll never come out. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in it. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. Run around here a hater. Come on, y'all. Just walk in the Spirit and you're not under the law. Don't worry about that law stuff. As long as you're obeying the Most High. Let's obey the Most High. And you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Any questions? Well, then let's pray. Spirit of the Most High, we love you and thank you for this opportunity to come before you humbly as we know how. We're in your presence because we need you desperately. Continue to illuminate us, wake us up, cause us to be alive to your word and dead to the flesh. That we don't fulfill the lust of the flesh. We want to follow you. We need you desperately. We celebrate you baptizing yourself inside of us to lead and guide us in all truth. And we'll follow. Lead us and we'll follow. We accept the salvation you so generously gave us, and we'll keep it until you come get us. And we celebrate in the matchless name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We humbly pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, and amen. I pray that the word found you and blessed you. This wasn't a long message, and I am done, man. I took that Tylenol and codeine for this pain, and I'm out of my mind. So again, the Ruach HaKodesh had to teach tonight again, and I'm so grateful. I pray that the word found you and blessed you. If it did, push the share button and tell folks about the lessons if they're blessing you. Push share. And if you're a part of this ministry, please support it regularly too, like the word teaches. All you got to do is go to PayPal, put in DerrickMann5857 at yahoo.com. That's DerrickMann5857 at yahoo.com. Or you can give through Facebook if y'all know how to do that. That would be cool too. Or if you're not a part of ministry and the ministry blessing you, then, be a blessing. We're on the line right now. Have a little while, a few minutes, that we can chop it up right quick if you want to. All you got to do is dial 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Again, 302-202-1102, extension 815648. But we can chop it up for a minute. Keep that number, because we'll be back on that number tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Early Will I Seek Thee. We pray together in a little quick sermonette Monday through Friday. But we'll also be on Facebook Live at 6:30. The conference line starts at 6. We jump on Facebook Live from 6 to 6:30 on Monday through Friday. Continue to pray for me as I pray for you. Y'all be Baruch and Barak Shalom. I'm gone.